C'est le boo, everybody, and welcome back to the HabWrap. I'm your host, Harry Rice. You are listening to the friendliest and funniest source for anything and everything Montreal Canadiens. Tonight, we played the final game before the Olympic break. Well, not the final NHL game, but it was our final game before the Olympic break. We do have a group of Montreal Canadiens going to the Olympics. Suzuki, Texier is supposed to go. I don't know if he still is. Dobson, I don't think, was named to Team Canada. Obviously, Caulfield and Hutson somehow weren't named either. Yeah. I'm going to say Ivan Demidov made Team Russia, even though there is no Team USSR. But, yeah, either way, the Canadiens, their final game, they are going to be looking to go in on a nice little bit of a nice, at least, point streak. You know, they got the point in overtime against Minnesota where they probably didn't deserve to get a point against Minnesota. And again, they're going to be looking to just at least get something against the Winnipeg Jets, who are very much struggling right now. Below 500, nowhere near people thought that they would be. An absolutely pathetic season for the Jets this year. Probably 1 year closer to being relocated back to Atlanta. Don't blame them. So yeah, this game, how would it end up going? Well, to talk about my notes and get into the game, firstly, we gotta talk about the lines, of course. So, the opening lines for the Canadiens were Caulfield, Suzuki, Doc, Slafkovsky, Kapanen, Demidov, Veleno, Evans, Bolduc, Anderson, Deneau, Gallagher. No changes up front, as was probably expected. Actually, technically not all true. I was a little surprised. No Patrick Laine. The Canadiens yesterday waived Sammy Blais. He did clear today, thankfully, so he does still get to play Laval hockey during the break. One of the few Montreal Canadiens that will actually be playing during the break. Check the local ponds for Hutson and Demidov. But yeah, Blais got waived. There was some speculation of, okay, well, we're going to be over the 23-man roster now. Laine's got to be back, right? And he was skating, but he was skating with the extra defenseman. So unfortunately, no Patrick Laine tonight. We will be saving him until after the Olympic break, so in about 22 days, so just under 3 weeks from now. I'll admit, kind of sucked that he wasn't playing tonight, but fair enough. If you can save a guy who's 97% and he's 100% by the time you come back and play your next game, I think there's no issue with that whatsoever. So that is, of course, unless Laine gets traded, which there have been rumors the Canadiens might be looking to shop Patrick Laine and get rid of that cap hit, which in other words means we want to go big game hunting, and we'd have to get rid of a contract because we're currently over the salary cap. So yeah, again, that's up front. On the blue line, Matheson, Gooley, Hutson, Dobson, Struble, Carrier. That's right, Arbor Jacki, a healthy scratch for the last game before the Olympics. A little bit surprising. You would think that they would want Jacki still in, get him a couple reps, but I don't know. There's been speculation that when Struble went in last time, that it was because they were looking to shop him, and they wanted to showcase him a little bit. Hopefully that's the case this time, but I don't blame management if they'd rather head into the playoffs with 7 defensemen just in case. Much like how when Laine and Newhook are back, it's probably Veleno that's the extra forward because just in case. And in net, Samuel Montembeault gets the start for the Canadiens, and of course, Jakub Dobeš will back him up. Of course, Jakub Dobeš had a not too good game against the Minnesota Wild, so rest him. I mentioned it probably 2-3 games ago. This was probably the plan, was you start Dobeš one game and you give Monty one game before the Olympic break, and thankfully they chose this one to give Montembeault the night because, spoiler, he was pretty damn good. We'll get into why. The opening lines for the Jets, firstly, were Connor, Scheifele, Iafallo, Perfetti, Lowry, Velarde, Niederreiter, Tays, Nemestikov, and Kepke, Barron, Nyquist. On the blue line, Morrissey, DeMello, Sandberg, Solomonson, and Stanley Shen. The Jets really like their defensemen, starting with S. Connor Hellebuyck obviously gets the start net for the Jets, and Eric Comrie backs him up. He's looking for his mandatory 12 games a season. In the first period, barely 30 seconds in, Connor has a shot that gets saved. Struble with a hard hit on Nemestikov at the benches. A little bit of back and forth hockey early on, not many shots at all. Veleno in on Stanley, he ends up losing the puck. The shots are 3-0 Jets at 5 minutes. That's off of 2 quick long-range shots for Monty. He holds the second one. And the Jets go to the power play early. Anderson gets called for a high stick on Nemestikov. Just a completely moronic penalty to take. It's off a face-off. It's not even like the puck's near Nemestikov and he high sticks him. No, it's just one of those, oh, let me just stick lift. He's in front of the net, and it completely misses, gets him in the face. And Josh Anderson is a guy. So Matheson clears right off the initial draw. Perfetti comes in. There's a good shot. The rebound. There's a scramble. Almost gets cleared, but it's just held in at the line by Josh Morrissey. So there's another scramble in front. Monty makes a very good save on a screened chance. Jets do keep control, and they eventually score on their 7th shot of the game. Kyle Connor buries one on the power play. Really good shot. It gets by Montembeault. Yeah, you can't allow the Jets to press that hard. They're going to score at some point, especially with the firepower that they have. Connor, with his 25th goal of the year, scores 6 minutes and 7 seconds in from Velarde and Scheifele. The Habs 0 for 1 on the power play tonight at this point. The Habs do try to get set up off of a turnover, but there's a 2-on for the Jets the other way. Niederreiter finds Nemestikov. Monty with a nice save. The shots at this point are 8-0 for the Jets 7 minutes in. Habs do get a puck. There's a shot by Deneau. Hellebuyck makes the save for the first time tonight. He also holds that one. Velarde went to the back after a Matheson shot block. He'd come back. Just one of those try walk it off type deals. So not a big deal, but well, I don't know. For Jets fans, it might be a big deal that Gabe Velarde blocked a shot for once. Habs' second line has a look. Demidov almost gets found by Hutson, but the chance not on net. A nice crafty play though by Hutson. Habs do eventually push. There's a Caulfield long-range shot with a screen, but that's held by Hellebuyck. Connor then hits the post on a rush chance. There's a rebound found. That gets cleared by the Canadiens. Slafkovsky nearly has a one-on-one with Shen, but a nice shot block there. Kapanen in the slot moments later has a one-timer blocked in front. Jets get a 2-on-1 and a beauty of a save by Samuel Montembeault, robbing Vlad Nemestikov. This game should have been 3-0 at this stage. Sam Montembeault played a fantastic game of hockey. That's all I can say. The Montembeault haters are going to be dead silent tonight. Slav gets held out for 2 minutes following that. The Canadiens were not playing in front of Monty to start the game. They'd get better as the game went along, but Monty was really needing to remain rock solid after the first goal, and spoiler, he would. He makes some good saves as the Jets pressure. Veleno gets hit hard by Shen. It's all Winnipeg with 6 minutes left. The Habs do get a rush chance. Kapanen goes just wide of the net on a nice net front chance. Habs do maintain the pressure, and eventually they score. Kapanen deflects a Dobson shot. Actually, it's technically deflected by Perfetti. Yeah, okay, so what it is actually is, it's a Dobson shot. It's deflected by Perfetti, goes right to Kapanen, kind of forehand backhands it. He has a wide open net as Hellebuyck's trying to dive out to get it, puts it home. Oliver Kapanen, all of a sudden, and very quietly, mind you, has 18 goals on the year now. Kapanen scores from Dobson and Slafkovsky with 3:34 left. Great patience by Kapanen there. Just a great goal to tie the game up. The Canadiens would gain some confidence because of this goal, not just for the rest of the period, but through the rest of the game, knowing that they could at least beat Hellebuyck once. Probably very confident that they can do it again. Would they? Well, let's find out. So with the tie game, Connor is a wrap try, but that's wide. And the Habs get a power play. Nyquist gets called for a slash on Matheson with 2:12 left. Habs with some good movement on the power play. There's a shot for Demidov, but that's blocked. Demidov gets another look, but that gets fanned on. That's on a rebound from a Caulfield mask shot. That would have been awesome if that goes home. The Habs end up 0 for 1 on the power play because Bolduc gets called for interference with 23 seconds left on the power play. That's with about 50 seconds left in the first period. Matheson has a good burst. He looks for the lead late, but just can't. Jets will have a minute 30 of power play time to start the second. These shots are 13-11 for the Jets and a 1-1 tie game after the first period. Canadiens got to be very happy they survived the onslaught. Would it be done? Well, let's find out. In the second period, the Jets press early. There's a look on the power play, but they only get one shot. The Habs are 1 for 2 on the penalty kill tonight. There's a sudden look for the Canadiens, though. Caulfield dumps it. It reaches Hellebuck. He sort of gets the shot. Doc has a rebound. He can't put it home. That was a very weird bouncer on Hellebuck. They almost got it on the wide open net. Unfortunately, they just couldn't get the lead. Jets end up icing a puck. Habs ice one a minute later. Kapanen loses a skate blade. The Habs then go offside. Jets ice another puck. This is about a 3-minute sequence where the game very much slowed down, but spoiler, it's about to pick up pace very soon. Jets press after a Hutson look. Scheifele has a shot rebound held by Monty. Evans gets tripped up. There's no call. And off a drop pass that fails, Gooley and Evans get on a 2-on-1. Evans in on a break. That shot is saved. And then Montreal scores. The Canadiens take the lead at 5:28. Struble has a shot. That's tipped by Josh Anderson. It gets home. Josh Anderson with his 12th goal of the year. He snaps a 6-game pointless drought. Good for him. He scores from Struble and Gallagher. Just a nice shot. That's a pretty good one from Struble. Good on Andy to tip it home. Struble still without a goal this season. That's got to suck for him. The Jets press. There's a big scramble. Taves has a wide open net. Somehow that doesn't go in. I think it was blocked in front. Andy then ices the puck because why would he be able to have good momentum? Off the draw, Habs get a nice passing play. Galley finds Anderson. Oh shit, it's kind of a 2-on-1. Andy finds a wide open Hutson skating backwards. Finds the forehand. And Lane Hutson scores. Lane Hutson, his 10th of the year. My goodness. Lane Hutson is at the very least the third best defenseman in the league behind Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes. If not, he's tied for the second best defenseman with Quinn Hughes. Just a beauty of a goal. He makes it 3-1 at 6:44. 2 goals in a minute and 26, I believe it is. A minute 16, sorry. Yeah, just a great play by Gallagher to get that up. Andy finds Hutson to be streaking in anyways, and he just puts it behind Hellebuck up high. Habs all of a sudden take the 3-1 lead. You love to see it. Again, Hutson with his 10th of the year. He scores from Anderson and Brendan Gallagher. So Josh Anderson and Brendan Gallagher, they've both got 2-point nights. Nice for them. The Canadiens press for the 4-1 lead. Slav and Shen shove each other in the Canadian zone. There's a Habs 2-on-1 off of a bad line change. Doc finds Suzuki, who just fans on the shot. That would have been awesome. The Bell MTS Place, which is not a renaming of the Bell Center, but it is the Canadiens' 7th home. Would have gone crazy for that. Stanley looks to press. He has a good shot block after Matheson turns the puck over. That eventually comes out. Monty ends up holding on a Solomonson shot with Slav trying to block. No fear from Slavkovsky. Doesn't care that it's going to hurt. Just got right in front of it. It didn't end up blocking it, but love to see that out of a star player like Slavkovsky. He's willing to help the team win in any way, whether it's scoring, getting assists, or playing defense like this. Absolute beaut Slavkovsky is. And a brute, too. God. Habs do press on a rush. There's a Slav pass that finds Hutson at the line. The shot is just out of play. Habs look to make it the Jets look to make it a 1-goal deficit, but the Canadiens playing some good D. They do get called for an offside as they try to rush. Jets do get some press. Monty has a nice pair of saves with 4 minutes left. Jets press off of a bad slap pass. Not necessarily a bad slap pass, just didn't get all of the pass that he wanted to. He wanted it a little bit harder. There's a good press, and Samuel Montembeault robs Dylan DeMello with 1:40 left. There's a shot, the rebound off the glass, bounces in front for Dylan DeMello, and Monty pushes across perfectly to glove that one down. Jesus, where is this Samuel Montembeault? It should be, where's the Samuel Montembeault been all season? I should mention, Monty changed his mask tonight. He, I believe, went to a mask he was using last season, if I remember correctly, what they were talking about. And, yeah, I think it's safe to say he's going to be sticking with that mask for a little bit longer. Morrissey ends up deking out Gallagher. Velarde ends up going flying. I didn't see what happened there. The Habs do get it down the ice. The shots, 25-21 for the Winnipeg Jets. Canadiens, though, have the 3-1 lead after 40 minutes of play. In the third period, the Jets push early. Monty makes a pair of good saves. Carey is then called for a weak hold on Gabe Velarde 2 minutes in. Perfetti gets robbed early by Sam Montembeault. There's another save at a minute into the power play. That is his 30th of the night. Anderson shorthanded has a drive. There's a shot, but the pad save by Hellebuyck. Monty ends up holding one right at the end of the power play. Gooley helps him there. Habs are 2 for 3 on the penalty kill. Jets do look to press. There's a near 3-on-1 for the Canadiens, but a stick breaks up the slap pass to Kapanen. Not like the stick breaks, but a stick breaks up the chance. You guys get what I mean. Habs are shooting wide on their chances at this point. At 6 minutes in, the Jets led the shots 6-1, which a little bit surprising. Kepke is a stick break on a good look. That time the stick breaks. Habs get a lucky break there, no pun intended. And then the Habs go to the power play. Matson gets a good break rush. He ends up getting slashed. Still does get a shot off. There's a really good pad save for Hellebuyck there. Probably the only really good Hellebuyck-esque save he made tonight. So yeah, like I said, Habs go to the power play. That's basically 11 minutes in. The Jets clear right away. I know that's about exactly halfway through the period, I believe. The Habs do set up. They just can't get a goal. But the second unit comes out. They look pretty good. And with just a couple seconds left on the power play, the Canadiens score. Brendan Gallagher on a nice kind of tic-tac-toe play. Bolduc at the line gets it up to Bolduc gets it up to Doc, who immediately goes over to Brendan Gallagher. He basically just has to tap it home. Brendan Gallagher with a 3-point night. Surprisingly, he gets his 6th of the year. He scores from Doc and Bolduc. Doc, by the way, now on a 4-game point streak. Good for him. Yeah, Canadiens just like that are 1 for 2 on the power play tonight. The Olay chants get going with 8 minutes left. You'll love to see the Canadiens fan base in a way building. That's always awesome. Jets end up icing a puck. They kind of knew that they were done. Hutson has a nice D play to stop a near 2-on-1. He ends up getting shoved from behind. There's no call, naturally. The Jets pull Hellebuyck with 5:54 left after Monty ends up holding a long chance. That's surprising they pull him with so much time left, but I would imagine that being down, 3 goals at this point, probably want to pull him a little bit earlier. I know there was a really good video I was watching a couple months ago where it was talking about what the probability is of you scoring with an empty net compared to how many goals you're down by. It was a really, really good video. I forgot what it was called, but if I can find it in my watch history and I remember, I'll link it in the description. It's a really, really fascinating video about empty net goals. So yeah, either way, the Habs do ice it after Gallagher tries to look for the empty net. He really wanted a 4-point game tonight. Unfortunately, wouldn't get it. Spoilers, but yeah, the shot, not for lack of trying, it went just wide by a couple inches. That sucks. Gallagher slaps one from his own zone for the empty net. Anderson with the rebound, and he goes off the post at the side of the net. God damn it, Andy. Stanley's only slapper deflected out. The Habs just need to kill off another 4 minutes at this point. Evans ices one looking for the empty net. The Jets press. Niederreiter has a shot saved. Rebound goes out. Slavkovsky tries for the empty net, but that's iced with 3:08. Monty holds on the Connor shot. Habs end up getting a change right after that, off of the icing, basically. Canadians have Gallagher finds an empty net chance, but it's just wide again. He tries to center, but it goes off of Stanley and away. That's from behind the net, I should say. Anderson turns the puck over. The Jets enter. There's a shot by Perfetti, but that's over the net. Andy then ices him with a minute 58 left. And with a minute 48 left, Gallagher will not get his 4-point night. He goes to the box as he trips up Stanley. That's kind of clear as day. That type of penalty always sucks. The Jets end up calling their timeout to figure something out. Morrissey has a shot deflected wide. Deneau has a chance at the boards down. He just goes wide. And then the Canadiens eventually score off of a kind of a weird play. Anderson has a shot, but it's off an official. Deneau picks it up and ices the game. 5-1 Montreal. Deneau gets his third of the year, third with the Canadiens, from Anderson and Dobson. So both Gallagher and Anderson with 3-point games tonight. Good on them showing up for once. Dobson, I believe, the 2-point game. Dobson played well. We didn't need the big ones tonight, aside from Slavkovsky and Hutson, and you could argue Dobson, but I'd say top 5 scorers are your big guys, and Dobson, unfortunately, is just out at top 6. But yeah, you really didn't need your big guys to show up tonight. Good to get a little bit of depth scoring once in a while, and yeah, again, Deneau here, he gets his third of the year for the Canadiens. He ices it with 14 seconds left, and that'll do it off the draw. Jets just kind of go back, and they just finish the game, let time run out. 37-27 for the Jets are your final shots. Samuel Montembeault, 36 out of 37 saved. He had a fantastic game. Really hope that he keeps this up coming out of the break. The only thing that sucks, of course, is that there's almost 3 weeks without game time now, so unless he's going to local ponds and just like, hey, you guys mind if I play goaltender for you guys? Unless he's going to like some random kids' games to just try and, keep his body going and just stay confident. He's not going to get playing time for another 3 weeks at minimum, so that's the only thing that sucks about him having a really damn good game right before the Olympic break. But most of it's mental. If he can keep a good, a good mindset the way he clearly did tonight, keep his mind clear, no pun intended, but keep his mind clear, whatever he was thinking tonight, keeping himself in good spirits or whatever, I think Monty's going to have a really solid push coming out of the Olympic break, and I think at this point, especially because I believe that we are about a week out from the trade deadline once we come back for the from the Olympics, I believe. I'm looking it up now. The trade deadline is March 2nd. Everybody comes back. I believe it's the 22nd or 23rd. So yeah, we're basically a week and a half out from the trade deadline once we return from the Olympics. You got to think Samuel Montembeault is going to be looking to help his team make the playoffs, help his team really stay above that playoff line, and therefore, have the Canadiens say, hey, you know what? These guys are good. Let's buy in a little bit. Let's help these guys. Let's maybe acquire a defenseman. 6th defenseman helps out Monty a little bit with good defensive play. Got to hope the boys in general help him with some good defensive play once in a while. However, that's for them to talk about. The Canadiens' final game before the Olympics ends with a huge W. Really nice bit of momentum. Really nice way to end the game. Oh, Kapanen's going to the Olympics as well. I know someone probably already commented it, but looking through my stats, I just remembered, Kapanen's going for Finland, I believe. Unfortunately, Patrick Laine will not be joining him there. Mostly probably because he's only played 5 games this year. I'd imagine if he's been healthy, at least up to the time they announced the Olympic roster, he probably would have been a shoo-in easily. But regardless of that, again, the Canadiens out into the Olympic break. Good spirits. They get a win. Good momentum going their way. They are on a 1-game winning streak. I believe it's a 4-game point streak that they have going on. No, it might even be 5 or 6, actually. Because I know that they won a couple before they lost that game in OT, so it might be a 4 or 5 game point streak that they're on, which always nice to see. So yeah, before we get into the stats, standings check. So firstly, the Tampa Bay Lightning first in the Atlantic. We're not going to do this every game. Most of the time, we're just going to do the Canadiens where they are and who's just behind them, whatever. But I figured, we're right before the Olympics. Why not do this? So the Lightning do have 3 games in hand. They've only played 54 games compared to the Red Wings and Canadiens 57. They are up 4 points on both of us, unfortunately. So assuming they lose tomorrow, or by the time this is out today, against the Panthers, they'll have 2 games in hand on us, which is a little bit helpful to us. So go Panthers. Just in general, if it's not Canadians, go Panthers. But either way, you got to hope that the Lightning start faltering at least a little bit. They do look like they're pretty okay this season. So, yeah, the Canadians are technically tied for second in the Atlantic Division. However, they do place third because they have less regulation wins. They are tied with the Red Wings, 57 games played for both teams and 72 points each. The Canadiens are actually the highest scoring team in in not just the Atlantic Division, the Eastern Conference, and are only second to the Colorado Avalanche, which pretty crazy. There are a couple teams that are very close to us: Tampa, Carolina, Boston, Edmonton's right there as well. There's a couple teams right with us, but we're second. We have very good goal scoring depth so far this season. 72 points. We're tied with the Red Wings. Right behind us, though, unfortunately, are the Buffalo Sabres, who have 56 games played, so they have a game in hand and are only 2 points back. So I don't know if they play tomorrow. I would imagine that they do play one final game before the Olympic break. And obviously going to be hoping that they lose that. 3 points back of us are the Boston Bruins, who do not have any games in hand. They did lose to the Florida Panthers in a shootout tonight. That's very good for us. We're going to skip Columbus because, again, they'd be targeting third in the Metro before they target the second wild card, at least as of right now. So the next team behind them are the Toronto Maple Leafs. We are 9 points up on them, so kind of crazy. It's looking like the Canadiens are almost a lock for the playoffs. Tampa, Detroit, and Montreal are all locks for the playoffs, it looks like, at least right now. Love to see it. Super happy that the Canadiens are as good as they are this year. Obviously, got to hope for, if it is Montreal and Detroit, you just got to hope that you do eventually overtake them for second and get that home field advantage. Well, I guess home ice advantage it'd be because it's hockey, obviously. It's not field hockey. So, yeah. Those are the standings checks. Just behind Toronto, real quick. Florida, we're up 11 points on them and Ottawa. And then that's it. All the other teams are in the Metro, so yeah. The Atlantic has both wild card spots right now. And yeah, so the Canadiens are just pretty good. They're pretty good. They're pretty well up on the only 2 teams that are actually out of the playoffs in the Atlantic Division. Again, Toronto, they're up 9 points on them and up 11. Well, the other 3, I should say. Sorry. And then, again, up 11 on Florida and Ottawa. Unless the Leafs or Senators and Panthers go on a big 5-6 game winning streak and the Canadiens go on a 5-6 game losing streak, Canadiens look like they're probably locked into, at the very least, the second wildcard spot, if not, but hopefully a top 3 spot in the Atlantic Division. So yeah, there's that. Let's get into the stats, and then let's get on out of here. We've got a big 3-week break, which, of course, as I'm sure you guys can imagine, during this break, we'll get the rest of the DVD collection out. Again, we'll probably do one a day. I doubt I'm going to come up to talk about the Olympics, aside from first game back. I'll maybe mention like a couple things like, oh, Suzuki had a pretty good playoffs. Kapanen was good, blah, 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 stuff like that. And then just, congratulate whoever won gold medal, and then silver, and then America for bronze. So, yeah, we'll see who wins at the Olympics. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully going to be able to watch a lot of the Olympic hockey, but we shall see. So, yeah, again, the DVD collections, we'll probably upload one a day for the next, I think week is probably how long it's going to take to get those uploaded. And then I do have a pair of DVD collection updates I've mentioned that I need to just edit real quick and then upload those and wait for those for the day that those get to go out. So we're going to be fully caught up on the DVD collection by the time the Olympics are like halfway over, actually, probably. So yeah, that's awesome. And then from that point on, it's just waiting for the Canadiens to come back. So yeah. Stats now. Let's get on to those. Nick Suzuki leads the Canadiens with 18 goals and 47 assists for 65 points. Cole Caulfield leads the Habs with 32 goals. He also has 25 assists for 57 points. And actually, I did not move him up, but Lane Hutson is actually second on the team with 10 goals, 48 assists for 58 points. Then it's Cole Caulfield. Lane Hutson, by the way, also on a 4-game point streak. Good for him. Ivan Demidov with 12 goals, 34 assists for 46 points. Juraj Slafkovsky's got 21 goals and 24 assists for 45 points. Noah Dobson, 10 goals, 28 assists for 38 points, along with 7 points in his last 5 games. Good for Dobson. Oliver Kapanen with an 18-goal season, 13 assists for 31 points. Mike Matheson, 5 goals, 23 assists for 28 points. Zach Bolduc with 10 goals, 13 assists for 23 points. He is on a surprisingly high 20-game goalless drought. I didn't even notice it until I was tracking his stats for tonight. And I saw that. I was like, oh my god, how have I not mentioned this? So yeah, Bolduc has been stuck on 10 goals for a long time. Josh Anderson with 12 goals, 8 assists, 20 points. He again snaps a 6-game pointless drought tonight. Brendan Gallagher with 6 goals, 13 assists for 19 points on the year, along with, again, 4 points in his last 2 games. Good for you, Brendan Gallagher. Alexander Carrier with 6 goals and 12 assists for 18 points. Alexander Texier, who's unfortunately hurt, 7 goals, 10 assists, 17 points. Jake Evans with 7 goals, 6 assists for 13 points. Kirby Dach has 7 goals, 5 assists for 12 points. He's on a 4-game pointless drought. 4-game point streak. I'm so used to the pointless drought. He has a 4-game point streak. Alex Newhook, who is unfortunately still hurt, with 6 goals and 6 assists for 12 points. Phil Deneau with 6 assists for 9 points during his time as a Montreal Canadiens so far. Their second time around, I should say. Jaden Struble with 8 assists on the year. Sammy Blais, 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points. Joe Veleno with 2 goals and 2 assists for 4 points. He is on a 10-game pointless drought. Caden Gooley with a goal and 3 assists for 4 points. Arbor Jackai with a goal and assist for 2 points, along with a 22-game pointless drought. Owen Beck, who is back in Laval in his time in the NHL, he has a goal and was rocking a 7-game pointless drought heading into the time that he got sent back down. Patrick Laine, who is unfortunately still hurt. Florian Jackai and Jared Davidson, who are both back in Laval, all have an assist so far this season. In terms of the fights, who else would it be? Arbor Jackai has 7 fights this year. Josh Anderson and Jaden Struble each with 2. Kirby Dach, Joe Veleno, Caden Gooley, and Florian Jackai all have a fight this year. In terms of the goaltenders, Jakub Dobeš still leads them with an 18-5-4 record, a 2.96 goals against average, and an 8.92 save percentage. Samuel Montembeault, spoiler, numbers did improve a little bit. A 10-8-2 record with a 3.34 goals against average, and actually a very much boosted after this game, finally, 8.75 save percentage. That's slowly going up. He has a couple more good games. He's going to be around that Dobeš number, and the fans will probably finally respect... Well, let's be honest, they probably won't respect him for whatever reason, but more than likely just because he's French. But yeah, and Jacob Fowler, in his tenure in the NHL, thus far, obviously, a 4.4-2 record, 2.62 goals against average, and a 9.02 save percentage, along with... Still don't shut up for the Montreal Canadiens this year. So that is going to do it for this episode of the HabWrap. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. My name is Harry Rice. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, hit the follow button. If you're on Twitch, I wish Twitch, that would be fun if we were broadcasting on Twitch. If you're on Spotify or Amazon or wherever you might be listening to the podcast on, don't forget to share as well. Don't forget to share the podcast with anybody who you think might enjoy it, such as a fellow Montreal Canadiens fan, a hockey fan who's maybe looking for a Canadiens podcast, or someone who you think just might enjoy listening to some fat kid from Quebec rant about the Montreal Canadiens for half an hour after every game, or talk about them, either or. So yeah, again, that's going to do it for this episode. That's going to do it for this episode of the HabWrap. Thank you all so much for watching, and always remember, no matter how good we were like last year, how great we are like this year, or how phenomenal we'll be in the future. Go Habs go, allez Montreal, and say it with me everybody, c'est le but!